has just a wealth of knowledge as far as health and trying to eat right and trying to work out.
2 years ago, Michael Torchia was considered one of the strongest men in the world and is one of the most successful celebrity fitness trainers. Michael's impressive list of star clients include Matt Damon, Kim Cattrall, Al Pacino, Kevin Spacey, and Ralph Lauren. Being physically fit has been an important part of Michael's life since he was a teenager. At 14, Michael was overweight. Too fat to play sports, he was deeply depressed. It was then that he discovered the world of bodybuilding. This intense sport helped him focus on living a healthy lifestyle. While realizing his dream, Michael made a promise to help other overweight children lose weight and gain self-confidence. In 1985, he started Operation Fitness, a nationwide program designed to help fight childhood obesity. Yes, Michael was flying high. And so was born Children's Fitness Academy, a nonprofit organization. CFA is a new, innovative resource that schools across the country can use to improve their health and fitness education programs. Today, Michael finds himself traveling around the country on behalf of CFA, educating, motivating, and inspiring children of all ages to live healthier, happier, more productive lives.
Hi, I'm Mike Torchia, health and wellness expert. You know, contrary to what the diet industry would like us to believe, health-wise, it's better to be fit than thin. Recent studies have shown that obesity alone does not increase the risk of heart disease. An overweight woman who is active has a lower risk of heart disease than a thin woman who sits around the house all day. Physicians need to pay more attention to the measures of fitness than simply focusing on the amount of body weight. Although it's important for overweight people to become more active to lose weight, it's more important that they become physically fit for overall health. So if I can do it, you can do it. I'm Mike Torchia. I'll see you next week.
Welcome to the Dangerously Funny Podcast. We're launching today with celebrity fitness expert Mike Torchia. Mike, thanks for coming in on short notice. And what impressed me most about you, Mike, was your childhood and your determination to overcome obstacles and make something out of yourself and create something that's unique and interesting. Tell me a little bit about growing up in White Plains, New York, and when you were a child, some of the struggles you had.
Well, thank you for bringing me on as a guest. I appreciate
my pleasure.
And sharing my story.
Yep.
Yeah, I was born in White Plains, New York, on a farm. My mom and dad loved having animals like cattle and pigs, goats, ducks, you name it, horses. And so I had a very wonderful, real childhood. Not like typical people when you think of from New York. Because I got to really understand what it's like to run a farm. And my father gave me chores, like my brother and sister have chores.
So you had responsibility early.
So animals were my friends. They were my family. So I was brought up that way. But also at the same time, you know, my mother was a great cook. I'm Italian, and 100% Italian. And my mother was such a great cook. So was my grandmother. So I would be eating the pizzelles and the manicotti and the cannoli cookies and the lasagna. So I was getting bigger and bigger at 14. So my grandmother says, Miguel, you're going to be a bigger football player. I said, Grandma, I'm only 5'1". I was like 50 pounds overweight. She goes, and baby fat. So growing up, I was really kind of not doing well when I went to school because I was made fun of every day.
So every day you went in, you got picked on.
Porky Pig.
Did people want to fight you or just insult you?
No, just insult the shit out of me. And
so you were hurt when you were young.
And at 14, I was very, very much into girls.
Okay.
And now being fat and made fun of, I said, shit, nah, I can't get one girl to look at me. In fact, I went to one of the dances and I just leaned against the wall because not only was I fat, but my mother used to give me my brother's hand-me-downs because he's 2 years older.
So they
and he was taller than me. So I looked like a fucking clown. You know, the pants were too long, the shirt was sleeves were too long. So I wasn't the most attractive person. And my mother cut my hair, so you can imagine. I look like that guy from Mo from the Three Stooges.
Oh, jeez.
My hair, right?
So when you were that young, did you have anybody in your corner? Let me ask you
My mother
that.
was in my corner.
Okay.
My dad thought it was nothing but a waste of time. When you tell a hard-working Italian,
Was he a blue-collar worker, your dad?
he was a laborer, man.
He was a
did
laborer.
landscaping, and he was all about manual labor.
Okay.
So he thought weightlifting is a waste of time. How you going to make money?
Did he make
lifting
fun of
weights?
you for doing it?
Well,
Make you
not
feel
make
bad?
fun of me. He made, like, for instance, this is at 14. I built this gym in my basement.
Right.
On Popular Mechanics, I built a pull down, a low row.
So you built your own
I built all these things myself. I went to the hardware store, put everything together, built this
Right.
beautiful gym. And my father kept saying, "Go outside and mow the lawn, do the hedges. How with these stupid weights? You distract."
He didn't encourage you.
So one day, when I was out there mowing the lawn, he went down in the basement with a sledgehammer. He took down the pulleys. I had the weeder weight, the steel plates. He cracked them in half. It looked like a bomb went off when I went down there.
So that wasn't nice.
I was so mad. My mother goes, "It's okay." She took me to the YMCA. She goes, "I'm not going to let him stop your dream.
Your mom's a good person.
I want you to."
So you did it at a different
So
place.
my mom got me a YMCA. She goes, "I'll tell you what. I got $40 saved for a new pair of shoes. So I took my shoebox out of the closet with the $40, and I'm going to get you a
Membership.
1 year membership at the.
So you went and
EY.
lifted weights there.
But here's the thing. So now my mother goes, "Hey, work out for an hour. I got to go Grand Union, get the groceries. I'll come back and meet you in front." So
Okay.
I go down these steps. It's very steep steps. And all of a sudden I see this big room with these monstrous guys with these light bulbs hanging by a wire. Very dungy, smelled like hell. But I saw these massive guys. So I walked up to the guy with the biggest arms. I said, "Excuse me, sir, is that a good exercise to build my arms?" He looks at me and said, "Can't you see I'm busy, kid? Beat it." So then I sit down on the bench.
So it
and I
didn't
put
even
my-
help you.
I put my head down. I was like, shit. I guess I'm just going to sit here, wait for the hour to go by, and then I'll tell my mom I had a great workout. All of a sudden, this big guy comes up. He goes, "Hey, kid, you want to build big muscles?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Don't listen to that jerk. I'll show you what to do." He put me through a workout. I tell you, my arms were like full of engorged with blood. I felt amazing. I said, "Wow, thank you. I don't know how to thank you for this. I don't have any money. I barely had enough money to join the gym." "No, I don't want anything, but you got to promise me.
Stay
You
with
need to
it.
pay this forward.
Stay
So
with
I'm going
it.
to teach you what you're going to need to do because you have the structure, and I can see in your eyes, you're going to be a champion bodybuilder someday." This guy was the start of my
So
journey.
he actually
Really.
was
His name was
somebody.
Frank Masello, beautiful human being, and he said, "Okay, but I got to tell you something." He poked me in the stomach. "Right now, you're a human garbage pail because you are what you eat. So what I want you to do is go home, go in the closet, get the bucket where your mother used the mop, and I want you to put everything in you eat for dinner tonight, every breakfast and lunch, and then I want you to look at it and tell me what you think." So of course I put everything in the bucket, and it was by the table, by the dinner table. So my father goes, "What the hell is the bucket for?" I said, "Oh, the coach at the YMCA wants me to monitor what I'm eating." So he said, to put me everything I eat, a little bit of everything from each meal, into the bucket. Of course, I had like my Twinkies from lunch, my beef-ball wedge, my waffles and bacon and eggs.
You're
and
eating
then
everything
and
bad.
then I,
Common sense is what you're
so
saying.
that started my journey.
Did
into-
you start to eat better?
Oh.
So you changed.
He said to me, "Do not put anything in your body that doesn't add value."
And how'd you change from that Italian
And
unhealthy diet?
Well, I got to tell you, 5 months later, I entered my first show. It was Mr. Gotham down in New York City. I got 5th place. And I beat
How old were you?
I was 15 years old. And then sure enough, I trained, and then I won a Teenage Mr. New York State at 16. And then I kept training, and then at 18, I won Teenage Mr. America.
Put a picture up then of his bodybuilding so that people can see.
And that's the Teenage
So if you
Mr.
guys
America. there
take
on
a
the
look
right.
at his body, you can see he's a dedicated guy, young guy, whose body definitely didn't look like that when he started, and just through his, his dream and his passion in what 7 years.
Yeah, it's
pretty good, Mike.
Yeah, I just
Very
it's shorter
impressive.
than that, but I was driven, and I was
Yeah, you were really
determined.
driven.
But you know what happened was
Were you driven, Mike, because of your father, or you were just driven, or were you driven because your dad said you couldn't and you said I will? What made you be driven?
It's partly
Both?
It's 3 factors. Number 1, I was driven and determined. Number 2, my mother was so supportive.
You had
she
a
made
good
sure
mom.
she got the right foods. She
got
drove
a
me
really
to the
good mom.
YMCA. But number 3, my father broke my balls. And that's exactly what went with Sly. Sly's father wasn't supportive of his weightlifting and any of that stuff.
I saw...
And that drove him in the documentary. Did you
I
see what he talked
saw
about?
when the father knocked him off the horse, and I said his father was a creep. The poor guy's a young guy writing scripts because they wouldn't put him in a movie, and he's breaking his balls, and on top of it, the father's picking on him like yours. And I'm saying, this guy just needs to move on. The father wasn't nice. And that made me almost cry because I'm from the Philly area. I told Frank when I met him at Craig's, and nobody's asked to be born. And you should have your parents, behind you and supportive. I had some breakages growing up in that. My mom was bipolar, and she wasn't able to really take care of us, so my dad was taking care of her, Mike, and we didn't get any love. So I left home like with an empty suitcase where I just want to go out and be loved and, accepted by people. And it sounds to me, and I think I'm glad you came in because I had met you at Craig's, but I hope we can become friends. We have a similar story. You went more on the athletic and I went in on the entertainment end, but we had the same void. Give me that, Mike. Give me that.
Yeah. Hey, brother. Yeah,
Definitely had the same void. So now here's my question. When did you move to California?
Well, so every summer would be like a camp for me.
Right.
And then I go back and I win all these titles and I come back and I say, Mike, what'd you win? And then I would tell them all the shows I won. And then, so I was like their little kind of...
Protege?
Yeah, well, Schwarzenegger called me his little Kroger. Because he said I was a short guy, but had a strong, stocky build. But he saw that my body was morphing into more of like a true bodybuilder's physique with the broad shoulders and the tapered waist and the big quads. So I was...
Show that picture in color, Den, of Mike, please, because that's a great shot we found before. You got it. Not the black and white. That's one, but where's the color image? Yeah. So is that kind of what you were morphing into?
I was trying to
Michael?
blossom as a bodybuilder.
How old were you in that picture, Michael?
Oh, that was young. That was
20.
That was 19.
19. Okay.
I learned from the best.
Right.
And I started really succeeding in bodybuilding, just winning all these championships, traveling around the world. I got endorsement contracts from supplement companies. I was full-page ads in Playboy.
Did you start to make money through endorsements at this point?
Yeah, my father finally got recognition. We're having dinner one night, and my mother opens up the Playboy magazine. It's a full-size page of Playboy, and they had a year contract with me endorsing this company called United Food and Fitness.
So your father actually saw something
my father
happening.
Goes, how much they pay you for that? I said, about $1,500 a week. He goes, what the hell? You make more money than I do in a week.
He started figuring
so
it out.
So my father goes, all right, maybe you got something here.
It took him a while, though. Here's a good question. When do you move out here, and how does the celebrity style training the celebrities, how does all that evolve?
Well, what was wild was I was watching in New York. I was with this girl that I was dating. She came from a very wealthy family. I was in her living room, and we're watching The Lifestyles of Rich and Famous. Mm-hmm. And it featured this trainer that was training James Coburn for his movies.
James Coburn.
And they said that the trainer actually became a celebrity himself. He was very successful, trained all these other stars. He drove a Fiat Spider 2000, a candy apple red one with tan interior, and he had this beautiful penthouse in the Marina del Rey overlooking the.
And you said
yacht.
you want that to be you.
I said that's me. I said to her, I said to my girlfriend, I said, listen, your father's just like my dad. He thinks he's gonna be a gym bum, and I'm not good enough for you. I'm gonna go to California. I'm gonna be a famous celebrity trainer. Besides a champion bodybuilder, I'll come back for you. She goes, go for it, honey. So I came out.
So did you, wait a minute, when you came out, it was at the end of that relationship?
It was supposed to be a sort of a time out to kind of rediscover myself.
But you never went back, correct?
No, I did. But what happened was I came out here, and I thought I was going to take on the world.
Right.
I had my Ford Explorer was repossessed. And then one day I walked into the Gold's Gym, and it was John Tesh calling up the front desk saying, "Hey, Connie and I need to get in better shape. Do you have a great trainer?" And the guy looked up and said, "Yeah, he's right in front of me."
Time by accident.
Oh, God. And then
Fluke.
I trained them, and guess what?
They referred?
Not only they referred, they put me on the
They put you on
Lifestyles
the-
of Rich and Famous.
No.
Robin Leach interviewed me.
Wow. Wasn't this like in the 80s, late 80s?
Yeah.
Wow.
Downtown, I was on MTV with Downtown Julie Brown.
I remember that.
I started
I remember
doing
her.
all these interviews, and I started
So
getting
becoming a
phone-
celebrity.
Yeah, I started
your own.
evolving,
Yeah.
but it took that one break, and then all of a sudden,
It rolled.
I got calls for this one, that one, and well,
to the
no,
gym.
No, I would bring the actor to either a gym at the studio lot or a private studio, and then when we go on the road, I'd have a fitness trailer that I
out.
built out, everything you'd imagine.
So, Mike, you were really hustling.
Oh, I was hustling.
How
And
many
then-
celebrities did you have when you were cooking? Like 10? Or
I
even
mean,
more?
I had Sinbad, Roseanne Barr, Nicole Kidman, Keith Urban.
Give me a
Al
good
Pacino.
Give me a good celebrity story.
Well, you know what's so funny is the first time I got a phone call to go to meet with Al Pacino.
Right.
Now, being Italian,
Right.
loving Scarface, and,
Yeah, all the
and
movies.
The Godfather, I go, oh my God, I'm going to meet Al Pacino. So they asked me to go down to Shutters. I told my family, I can't believe I'm going to be Al Pacino.
Right.
So sure enough, I go down there and I ring the bell. And
Right.
he opens the door, and he was like short like me. He goes, "Yeah, sit down." So we sit down, and we're sitting out, but we're looking out the ocean. He goes, this is when he was married to Beverly, and
It's just like in the late 80s, 90s, early 90s. Okay.
and early 90s. So anyway, so he says to me, he goes, "Listen, Beverly mentioned maybe I should do Pilates." I said, "Pilates?" I said, "Al, do you know what Pilates is?" No.
That's funny.
It's like a bed with springs, and you have to put these straps around your ankles and put your legs behind your head. He goes, "Fuck that." I said, "Exactly right. You're going to train like a man.
Right.
Weights, cardio,
Right.
you lean,
Right.
stretch, you're flexible, you feel good." He goes, plus, he also was doing the movie Robin Williams, Insomnia, and he had to run in this woods area to chase him down. And he said, "The reason I need you is when I was shooting Heat with De Niro, there was that scene when he's running
You know, he
from
needs
the bank.
endurance. Needs
he tore
endurance.
his hamstring off the bone. They had to
Oh.
shut production for 7 weeks. It cost them $2 million. So he said, I can't have this again. So
He
I
needs to
need to
be in
make sure
shape.
I could run through the scene in the woods chasing Robin Williams, but also I want to be healthy."
Yeah.
So I did a whole complete program for him. So it was so funny. The first time we work out, he goes, "Okay, I want you to meet me at the park, the softball park, in the dog park in Brentwood off of Barrington." Al pulls up with his four-door Mercedes, and we pull at the same time and park the car. I put my window down. He puts the back window down. He goes, "You ready, Mike?" I said, "Yeah, you ready, Al?" So
That's
here we
funny.
are. And I was in black, and now he had the same black
You're
outfit.
almost like Bobsy twins.
Oh, it was hysterical.
It is funny.
So
Yeah.
I figured, okay, I got to think quick. I go, shit. I said, "So Al, you're going to work out over here?" He goes, "Yeah." I figured we'll do it in the park. So me thinking quick, I had just gone to the beach with my girlfriend the day before. So I had a beach towel and a small towel.
Yeah.
And I took it out of the trunk, and we first did some laps around the softball field.
Right.
And then I saw this beautiful tree with some grass and shade. I said, "Oh, this is good." So I had him do some stretches against the tree. Then I put the towel down and rolled it up under his neck. I started doing some stretching for him because he was really jammed and tight. Hamstrings were really locked up. And then I had him do some core work.
Okay.
And then he got up. He goes, "Wow, I feel amazing." He goes, "All right, well, I'm going to go play some softball now," because that's how he coordinated it. As he figured he'd work out with me. That'd be a good warm-up because he loves softball. And that's where he plays softball.
So you had a softball
So
game after
he
you
went and played
started him up.
softball. So now what's so funny was, so we would do this like 3 times a week, but on the weekends too, he would play softball. So all of a sudden, we do this lap around the park, and then the dog park's right there. So people are saying, "I think that's Al Pacino." So all of a sudden, there were like dozens. And then after a few weeks, there were like hundreds of people. I mean,
That's
just
crazy.
watching.
Just watching,
Just
'cause
watching,
he's a
being
celebrity.
awed, and watching me exercise him under the tree. And it was hysterical. And
This is
Al
funny.
was so humble. He was so kind.
Those pictures we put up earlier. What did you weigh?
At my peak, I was 225 with a 28-inch waist, 58-inch chest, and a 20.
What was your chest?
58-inch
So you were
chest.
58, 28.
And the arms were 20 inches. The waist was 28, and my quads were just.
Tell
massive.
me about when you won Mr. California.
Oh, I was shredded. I had every vein jacking out. The skin was
you were
so
jacked
thin.
up.
I was
You were
just
jacked
shredded.
up.
I trained so hard for that, and I just looked like a freak of nature because bodybuilders.
Well, the guys when they get that big.
But in those days, bodybuilders weren't that ripped, and the key thing about me was I was so shredded. Even when I won the Teenage America, the magazines called me the Teenage Phenomena.
That's
in
what
fact,
they called you?
Arthur Jones is the one that created the Nautilus.
Right.
He is the inventor. So
Right.
Arthur Jones, after I won the Teenage America, flew me down to DeLand, Florida, where he had his factory and his
Right.
clinic. And he said, I've never seen a bodybuilder be so lean. He said, it has to be dangerous. He goes, so I want you to get into this big tub. It's a hydrostatic weighing to see what my body fat was. Now,
Right.
normal bodybuilders were about 8 or 9%, around 10%. I was 1.2% body fat.
So you were really
I
ripped.
couldn't die. He
You
said
were
to me,
ripped.
if you maintain this for another 2-3 weeks, you can die. Because he said the only fat you have on your body is in between your organs. So I was 1.2%
So
body fat.
that's in a way bad.
He said it was, because it was too extreme. So,
Did your dad, as he got older and you got more successful, did your dad love you and accept you, and was he proud of you, or did that never happen for you?
no, he actually told me that he was so proud of me. Later on, my mother said, every time you're on TV, he tells everybody to shut up. He
kid's
gets
on.
in his lazy boy chair, and
He's proud
and he
of you.
sits and he would watch you. And my mother goes, he would have this
Great.
glow in his.
But
in
it
his
was hard
eyes.
for him to tell you he loved you, but he really did.
It was
That's nice.
He did.
He
Tell
did
me,
in his way. He did in his way.
He did tell me on his deathbed
Oh my God! But on his
that he
what
loved
did-
me. The first time he said he loves me was on his deathbed, and he apologized, and he said,
Didn't that happen in Frank's biography? I think I watched where they didn't want to go when the father was sick.
Yeah.
I think it's a similar thing with you,
Well,
right?
he wanted to make amends, and he kind of giggled. He said, "Why do you think you look the way you do?" He said, "If I didn't break your balls, you wouldn't have worked so hard to prove me wrong." And negative
I
reinforcement.
love the way he worded that like he had something to do with it. You did forget everything, Mike, and he's trying to take credit. Now, that's crazy,
I
Mike.
said, wait a minute, you're taking the credit for my success?
All you did was kill yourself to prove yourself, and he's acting like he did it. That is funny,
I
Mike.
said to Maron, Dad, listen, now you told me you're about to drop dead. You're telling me this now? You could have told me this a long time ago. But listen, you're right. I wanted to just prove you wrong. He goes, well, what do you think I pushed you so hard for? I said, you know what? Maybe you could have been a little nicer. He goes, yeah, I could have.
Did you have siblings, Mike?
Yeah, brother and sister, yeah.
Was he different with them?
Oh, yeah, because the problem was, and he told me on his deathbed, he goes, you reminded me of me.
Him,
because
yeah.
I was always a dreamer, and I was scared you're going to, because my father failed at every business he did.
So here's your problem with your father. He saw you in him, and his dreams never materialize, and he didn't want to see you.
Right.
And that's sad, but you know what? That's really true. And I watched a special of these entertainers in the 40s. It was a biography of a Jewish comedian, and his mother got jealous of him when he was getting on Johnny Carson and getting successful because she never made it. Very similar story to your dad.
Yeah. But you know, when
But that's interesting, Mike. It's very interesting.
You know, when I trained Rodney Dangerfield.
You trained Rodney Dangerfield?
Oh, yeah, we had a
with a
blast.
body like that? Jesus
So
Christ.
do I have time to tell you about this story with Rodney?
Did he do jokes while you train him?
Oh, yeah. Well, let me tell you what happened. So I get booked to train him. And this first time I meet him, he lived on the high rise off of the Beverly Wilshire corridor.
Yeah.
Beautiful. He had the penthouse.
Right.
So, I pull up, park the car. I'm here to see Mr. Rodney Dangerfield. And they do the key because it just takes you right to the top of the penthouse.
Right.
So the door opens, and this woman named Conchita, it's this beautiful, heavy-set, Hispanic woman in a maid outfit. She goes, Mr. Rodney, it's in the dining room. Follow me. I said, okay. So I walk in this dining room, and it's magnificent. He had Picasso's, Van Gogh.
Really?
I mean, beautiful pieces of art. I was like, I didn't picture this to be Rodney Dangerfield's taste, but it's Joan, of course, his wife was
The wife, it's the wife, yeah.
But anyway, so there he is. He's sitting in this like chair and this long table like King Henry VIII. And he had this faded blue fuzzy robe, the big hairy chest.
Right.
He had flip-flops on.
That's him,
and
yeah.
boxers on. And he goes, hey, Mike, come over here.
Yeah.
And he goes, all right, what do you think of these jokes? And he starts like running
ripping
jokes.
your
And
jokes.
they were so funny. That's the first thing he did, is running jokes, right? So he's doing all
Who's
these
that sound like, Dan?
So he's running jokes to me, and I'm like, shit, that's really funny. I said,
Did he have you going though, Mike?
Oh, no. He kept going. I was laughing my ass off. So then he goes, okay, I'm ready to work out. Let's go. So
After we got all the jokes out.
all he had to do was joke. So he,
It's very similar, Dan. It's very similar.
he didn't put any gym clothes on. He just went with the robe. So now we go in the elevator. We go downstairs.
Oh, my
We
God.
go across the lobby into
He's hysterical.
this glass door, and there's this magnificent gym. I was like, wow, this is going to be fun. And we walk through the gym, and then we go out a door outside, and he takes the robe off. Now he's just got no shirt on, just the he had like
boxer.
box. He wasn't even swimsuit. It was underwear.
Underwear.
And he jumps in the pool, and he goes, "Come on, I want to exercise in the pool." The doctor says, because of my arthritis and my heart, I got to do water workouts. I go, "Oh, aquatics," because yeah, that's what you call aquatics. So now I had these brand new Adidas sneakers and a brand new black sweats, brand new black
weren't
shirt,
jumping in the pool.
and an Adidas shirt. And I said, oh, "Shit." So I take the jacket off.
Did you go
I
in?
jump in with my clothes.
You
sneakers
jumped
on.
in?
I jumped in. I said, you know what? I'm going to show him like I did with Al. I jump in. He started laughing so hard. I went through the whole workout. We had a great workout.
Is he a nice guy? He seemed like a good guy.
So after we get out of the pool, he goes, "That's the best workout I ever had." He goes, "But you had me when you jumped in the pool. You're my trainer."
You know why?
Because no other trainer. He fired. His wife told me he fired 11
You know
trainers.
why? You know why? I tell them, just get the fuck in and do what you got to do. It is funny.
And I'm
It
sitting
is
there
funny,
while
Mike.
Conchita has my clothes in the dryer. So then he sits me down, and I said, "Rodney, what makes a really great comedian? Is it a joke?" He goes, "No, it's not a joke. It's how you deliver it."
Yeah.
He goes, "Mike, it's just like you. You're a great trainer. It's your style of delivery.
He gave you
jumped in the
compliment.
pool.
Yeah.
You just did the workout. You followed my request. You did what I want to do.
Yeah.
You're
Dan,
delivering."
listen to this.
It's-
He's old school.
Yeah, it's delivery. Said to me, he goes, comedians are the most depressed people and think of suicide all day long. Yeah.
You were with me. We met him and Frank at Craig's, but we didn't talk like this. We talked more for just, hi, how you doing? I grew up where you grew up. We're talking to Frank. But I mean, you have a real story. But what's impressive with me is you're where you're at because of you. And I feel almost for the same way. And I mean, Danny, you've been with me. You just met me, Mitch. But you see what we pull off when we're at. I mean, this guy to jump in the pool, you're like Esther Williams, for Christ's sake, in the old movies. But that's a compliment. So do you do the celebrities now still, or is that kind of done? That was a while ago. Like, what do you do today,
well, now,
Mike?
you know, because I have this Beverly Hills concierge service.
Are you doing that more now?
And what I do is I have a team of people. So when I meet with say, a royal family member or a celebrity, I sit down with them, and then I assign a chef, a nutritionist, a trainer.
So you've gone into full service for wealthy
I
people,
am
not
their-
just a fitness trainer now.
I'm their health advisor.
Like, why didn't you ever? You have such a magnetic, charismatic personality. Why weren't you ever an actor in movies? Do you guys see this? The way you tell a story.
You know,
and
when-
I just see you like a frickin' Pesci or somebody in a good, like an A actor, not like a side guy. Do you guys agree? I'm listening to you talk for an hour.
Well, you know what was so funny was
Did it ever happen?
Well, this would happen. So I did commercials. I did commercials
Yeah,
a lot.
but did you ever get asked to be in a film?
Yeah, I was. I just did the Jack LaLanne movie, Physical, with Rose Byrne. It's not something like,
Is that not your thing? What you want to do?
you know, I like just being natural and real, and I'd have to study the lines and sit around, hurry up. Because I've been on the set so many times.
Do you
sit
like-
around, hurry up, and wait?
Do you like what you do now with your concierge thing?
I love what I do.
Yeah.
I love what I do. But I'm working on coming up with a reality show concept. I'm kind of playing around with a few things because that's more of me, more natural, more organic.
Because you're real.
Yeah, I like because I know I'm just being myself. It's not like I have to pretend to be another person.
Yeah,
you know,
be yourself. Do you ever want to be married, or you just find how you are?
Listen, in the right situation, hell yeah. The wrong situation, no, because I was married.
So it's
before.
open. It's open if it's right.
If it's right, because I love being a family man. I mean, listen,
you seem like you're
kids.
a family person because your mom was so nice to you.
Oh, I love kids. I love animals. I'm still that kid from the farm in New York. I'm out here and around Hollywood, and I go to all these parties and stuff. But I'm like that guy that's happier on the farm with the horses and the cattle. And
you're more happy, simple.
And quite frankly, I mean, I work with some of the richest people in the world, and their houses are not that big because they really. Why do I need a big house?
How much do you need as one person?
And you can't have any privacy.
Right. You're one person.
A lot of people, even some of the richest people, are actually downsizing to have more of a comfy home.
But Mike, I want to ask a couple questions because we're almost done. What's next for you?
Well, I'm actually, like I had mentioned, I'm developing some reality shows. I'm also producing some films. I just finished producing a movie with Clive Owen, Daisy Ridley, and
what's the
Mark
name of
Hamill
that?
Directed it. It's called The Cleaner. We shot it in London, and it's going to be sort of like Die Hard, but instead of Nakatomi Building, it's the beautiful Shard Building in London, which is the highest building.
When does that come out?
Well, we're still in post, but basically, the backstory is Daisy plays a window cleaner. That's why it's called The Cleaner. And the backstory is that she's ex-Special Forces. So when Clive Owen comes over to take over the building with everybody on hostage, she takes him down because she kicks into gear. And it's a great action film. And Martin Campbell has done all these different James Bond movies he's directed. So we had a killer action director. And then I did a movie with Orlando Bloom, John Turturro. It's a boxing movie called The Cut. We're in post, so that's one of my other movies.
You have some stuff coming out, and what's on the horizon is your Beverly Hills Concierge Service going strong. That's your money stream for you.
That's my steady
income.
But I'm also looking to start opening signature rejuvenation centers and wellness centers throughout.
You mean Botox and filler, like that kind of thing, or more working out?
It'd be everything is from proper eating, rehabilitation, hormone replacement, stem cell, peptides, everything that's going to be organically ways of becoming healthier and living a quality life.
So what's nice with you is you deep down want to help people. You have a nice heart, and you're like a good person.
Yeah, that's how it's been brought up. You know,
yeah, you're a good guy.
Pay it forward. That's what I promised Frank Masello when I was in that YMCA.
When you were a little kid, yeah.
I pay it forward because he said you will be a champion bodybuilder and a leader in the fitness industry. I can see in your eyes.
Tell Mike, lastly, where can people find you on social media and the internet?
Besides Craig's on Thursday nights.
Are we going this Thursday, Mike, or no? So I can go?
I'll let you know. I got some parties going on. I might try, but
you got to make it. Even if we at least have a drink.
Yeah, for sure. We have to do that.
Yeah.
Well, I have my website, operationfitness.com.
Right.
And then I have Beverly Hills Concierge Service.com, or just two of it. But I also have a website, healthypetnation.com.
What is that?
It's all about animal health and wellness.
Okay.
Because I do my best, because my charity is Last Chance for Animals.
Right. We saw that.
I fully support them. I do anything I can to save the lives of animals. This is not just cats and dogs. These are whales and rhinoceros and elephants. And I help raise money for them every year to support their cause.
Mike, thanks for coming on. You're on our launch show, and these launch shows are going to be doing really well. And promise me, I see you and Frank for lunch before I head out.
We'll get together. I'll call Frankie.
Call Frankie. All right, guys. So this is a wrap. We got Mike Torchia, celebrity fitness expert, amongst other things. Beverly Hills. What is it called, Mike?
Beverly Hills ConciergeService.com.
Right. If you're not worth about $4 billion, he's like Peter Marcos. Don't call the jeweler. And he has movies coming out and a whole lot of things in the work. But most importantly, we got to line up those meals. All right. Signing off to Jersey Outlaw, Jimmy Lee, Dangerously Funny. Everybody have a good day.